right, it is time for the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Jonathan Howe, Travis Cunningham back in the saddle for episode 21. 21 we're on. Who's your 21 this week?
Ooh, I got a couple. One of them is one of my best buddies' dad, Gary Krutchka. Doesn't race anymore, but he's raced a lot. Like even I raced against him back in my modified days, and he was always 21, even back from his mini stocks at Cayuga or whatever they were. And the other one, my boy that works the front desk at BRP, Tyler Pachelski,
Nice.
21P.
I was gonna say Pachelski. I'm gonna go with Spencer Smolders in the Sportsman. Yeah, I'll shout him out
Yep,
for my
that
21.
was one I thought of too.
Yeah, I was gonna go Pachelski, and then I was like, he's gonna say it first. So I always like that him and his sister did like the reverse numbers. She's 12, and then he's 21.
Yeah, and I told Tyler earlier in the year I'm a little bummed that she don't race anymore. Hasn't been racing because she had a little bit of talent. More than a little bit.
Yeah, she had a really good year in 2021 in the races that we call.
Yeah,
I
she was just
remember in
getting
particular
rolling.
one race at Humberstone. Yeah,
Hmm.
that one late year. I think it was probably around the Labor Day show at Humberstone last year. I remember her having a really good run. I think it was that show, and we were both kind of like, "Yeah, no, this is good. This is uh, Tyler's got to watch out."
Yeah, that's always our joke at work. Always gets beat by his sister.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the results from we're running down here. This is almost the end of the year. I mean, Merrittville's pretty much wrapped up in terms of racing action. We got the Enduro and Monsters in Merrittville coming up that I'm looking forward to. It's always fun. It's fun to wrap up the year that way, right? But one more show that you were a part of on Saturday. We'll get to. Let's start with Ohsweken on Friday. The ROC versus Dirt Car Sportsman Modifieds, the headliner there, and former guest Nelson Mason comes out on top, winning it over Adam Leslie, James Friesen, Billy Bleach, and Brad Rouse.
Yeah. So what's that? Three guests in the top five. Mason, Rose, and Leslie. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Nelson Mason, man.
Hmm.
I don't know what else to say. Guy's smooth as glass. Like absolutely smooth.
He
Yeah.
really is, right? I'm excited to see full year under his belt now. I'm excited to see what that team has to offer, and I think we're going to probably sit down with him and Van der Zanden and talk about the future plans for that 74-35 duo uh, for 2023 and beyond in the off season. Dirt Car Modifieds. We're also at Ohsweken. Gary Lindbergh wins that one over Mike Bowman, Scott Wood, Brad Rouse, and Chad Chevalier.
Yeah. Only 12 cars in that one, but bit of a tough car count there. But yeah, really forget what happened in that one. I'm so like we didn't talk about the Sportsman. Like so much more stuff happened. Like the Greg Penunte wreck was huge. Like the Sportsman race had so
That
many
is
more
true. Okay,
storylines than the mod race. Yeah,
yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, we should probably touch on Greg's big wreck. It's been I don't want to say a bad year for Rex, but it has definitely been a year for wild incidences. And I didn't see the race live on Friday, and then the next day, Saturday morning, I was prepping my radio show, and I saw. I can't remember if it might have been from either Greg himself, it might have been his wife's Facebook
it's
account.
probably the
Somebody
team account.
posted about Greg feeling sore. I think must have been the
Yeah,
team account where he was posted about feeling sore, and I was like, oh wow, what happened? And then I had to go and look it up, and yeah, that was a wild one.
yeah. The cameras didn't catch it, but I can kind of pick up what happened because he definitely hit the end of the blocks there. Which the only other car I've seen hit the end of the blocks like that is Mikey Krutchka back at the 2013 Nationals, and Mike didn't flip, but looks Greg got her upside down and had trouble getting out. It was definitely a hold your breath kind of minute. I was sitting on my couch holding my breath watching it. Definitely tough break for Greg because I've had a few beers with him in my life, especially at Super Dirt Week. And yeah, and then there was another one, like even to not to move out quickly from the Penunte thing, like we're all super pumped Greg's okay and hopefully they can rebuild. But like earlier in the race, there was a wreck that Greg was in as well. And Chris Hawkins was in it and Sharpie. But then I don't even know if this was the same wreck, but at one point, like Terry Smith was walking around telling people off. Like if you go back and watch the G-Force replay, like he goes up and has a chat with Cody and has a chat with someone else. There was like three of them that he hit. And I hear now secondhand that it wasn't too pleasant. And yeah, so that was a bit nuts too.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. It's the end of the year. Everybody doesn't want to get their stuff torn up. Stuff is getting torn up. Tempers all year long. This is kind of like where it all starts to boil over, right? And especially with so few events left, championships are wrapped up. It kind of just makes sense that now is
Yeah.
the time for these incidences and these angers and issues to really pop off. Especially, you don't want to end your season with a wrecked race car, right?
Yeah. And that's not even like that was a separate incident. The Terry Smith thing. Like there was another wreck
Hmm.
with Penante and stuff. Yeah, because there's a few couple wrecks. It's just I love
Yeah,
watching the mods there, but like I go back in time. If you go back anytime there's a Northeast style mod or sportsman there, it's usually at least one gigantic wreck. That's the only thing. Drivers got to be careful going there. Sprint car, no matter what you're driving there. No small wrecks at Ohsweken. That sucks.
no, yeah.
Okay,
It's the Daytona of Southern Ontario, apparently.
pretty much. So
uh
yeah, now we can talk about the mods that we touched on all the storylines in the sportsman.
yeah, and
The
again,
other one,
I
the
think that
sportsman
car
thing is
count.
just like
Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
but just the last thing about the sportsman is just like how Adam drove such a great race and made that one little mistake.
Doesn't that? Oh, and that like between both nights, that was kind of a heartbreaker for Leslie because we're gonna get into
Yeah,
Maryville, but I mean, he lost that one by feet, right? Like that was a close finish on Saturday night for Adam, and then to come up P2 again, right? It's yeah, it
yeah,
was a tough weekend, but a weekend that he can also be proud of at the same time, right? It's like nobody
I'll definitely
wants
be
to
proud.
finish second, but right, exactly. You got to finish. You got to be proud of how that weekend turned out if you're Adam Leslie. Like I think I saw his post. He was didn't come home with the trophies, but they knew we were there. Like
Yeah,
definitely on Saturday
for
night,
sure.
Cody knew Leslie was there coming to the stripe. So that yeah, that was
And that mistake he
tough,
made
but
on
at the same
Friday
time
is
great.
like that spot just gets so slick getting into one there, and like it can be bite
Yeah,
just a car length lower, half a car lower, but when you do dip your right rear into that spot, it instantly turns you. And yeah,
yeah,
tough break, but good run as well. Okay, now we're done, sportsman, because there was a lot to
yeah.
cover in that race.
Yeah, it really was. Good one to go back and watch on GeForce as well. Shout out to our
For
boys on
sure.
GeForce. Yeah, Dirt Car Sportsman. I feel like, or Dirt Car Modifieds. That had to be affected. That car count had to be affected because didn't Ransom have a big block versus small block show? Was that this Friday that just went? Because I know I saw. I thought
Yeah,
Maddie was supposed to be at Ohsweken, and then once they announced that big block versus small block show, I know he went
yeah.
over. I'm
Maddie's
pretty
the only
sure, and
car
then
I could think of
right.
that would have been there. It's tough to travel these days.
That is true. Yeah, even going across the border, it's like $10 at the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then what was the finish there in the modifieds again? I'm not gonna lie, I was watching my boy Dalton Slack for the most part.
Well, he ended up sixth, though, so
Yeah,
another great run for Dalton. But Lindbergh, Bowman, Scott Wood, Brad Rouse, and Chad Chevalier. So again, pretty much the usual
yeah, okay,
suspects. Another top five for Chad Chevalier. He's super consistent year. Scott Wood really like peaked at the end of this season with the big win in the John Spencer Memorial, and then backs it up with a third place run at Ohsweken. Bowman, I think we all know he's been dominant and had a really great season on the crate sprint side, but it's he didn't get out to the modified I think even as much as he really wanted to when it was all said and done. But you can't count him out. He's one of the best in the business. And Gary Lindbergh backing up the co-championship trophy with a win at Ohsweken. So
yeah. When you said Bowman's name there, it sparked all my memories from watching the race. The most of it was watching Mike pound the cushion and wheel that thing around the top. And yeah, definitely, that's I'd say it's one of Mike's favorite tracks, if not the favorite. I know he used to love rolling wheels, but I know he loves Ohsweken. So yeah, good second place there for Mike. And good to see him run good. And he was definitely pounding the cushion down, no doubt. Had that car all jacked up some couple of times.
yeah, for sure. Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. Ryan Beagle gets it done on Friday night over Tim Phelan, Kyle Wirt, Trevor DeBoer, and Christopher Hale.
Yeah, this is the one race I did miss when I was watching, but my mom watched it and she said Ryan Bagel did a great job, and Dave Bailey did what he had to do to wrap up the title. I think he a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of a non Dave Bailey showing, which is a
Yeah,
fifth or
exactly.
sixth, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Which hell, that's probably his worst finish of the year.
Yeah, doesn't that feel weird to say? Like in a non-crash or non-mechanical, I don't even think he had any crashes or mechanicals really to deal with.
We could be
But
wrong
like
on that because you
if
can forget stuff, but I don't think so.
yeah, right. I don't remember him having any incidents this year, but if he did have an incident, that's got to be his lowest finish without incident for the
Yeah,
season, which is
for
insane to
sure.
talk about somebody finishing sixth as their worst finish. But yeah, pretty wild season for him. Really, 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 really good stuff. And it looks like I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next season of Beagle versus Bailey, honestly, because Beagle again came on pretty strong late, and I think even on Saturday night Bailey made mention of Beagle making him look silly on Saturday night at Friday night at Ohsweken. So I think I don't want to say that Beagle's in Bailey's head, but I think we know that when it comes to Ohsweken, I think Beagle's going to be the guy who has the best chance to knock off Bailey next year from the crown.
Yeah, definitely not in his head, but definitely his number one competition at Ohsweken. And yeah, I saw a couple jokes being made on the internet this week that you can almost see old Ryan Beagle's duster there now from the in the pictures. He's growing a little stash, and you can see it in the pics
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I saw
Good
that.
job, Beegs.
That's nice. I like that.
She's showing.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say you're a pretty regular mustache guy. I'm like I'm just going full beardy right now. I got to go in for a trim up tomorrow, but yeah, that's pretty funny.
I'm not a mustache guy. I do that as a joke every now and then. I try. Stewie used to always do the mustache at Super Dirt Week and win. So earlier in the year, I tried to channel that energy,
Yes.
but it does the opposite for me. Apparently, I'm just too lazy to shave. So like, I'll go full, and then I'll take it right down to baby face, and then start the process over.
Yeah, fair enough. I think I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm going in tomorrow, and I've been growing out this beard for like the last half of the year, and it's all good
We
until
should do
like
Movember, I guess. Now that we got this, we should
I've
both do it.
I've done it for a while, and it doesn't go super
I've never
well in
done it.
this household. So, but I if
Oh,
again
I hear what you're saying.
I might be able to try it one more time. I might be able to get Kyra on board with let me do it one more time, just one last time for the dirt car community and everybody else. Every year I say it's the
We'll
last
see.
year, and then I don't. I just come back the next year, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing Movember again.
It's tough working with the radio show, and most people do it there, and that kind of like all the TV guys usually do it on TSN and that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, the only thing is that I guess I'm pretty sure the awards, Merrittville. I don't have the schedule up. Yeah, I do have it up. Yeah, the awards banquet's in November, so I'm gonna have and that's November 12th. So I'd have a pretty dusty mustache for the awards banquet if I did that.
That'd be fun.
I think I could do it. I could pull it off. We'll see.
Sorry,
We'll
Kira.
talk about that. There might be a
Might be a
charity
veto
angle there
job
for
coming up.
Kyra. Yeah, right. I'll just have to tell her it's for charity. Can't
Charity,
do it.
sorry.
Uh, what else are we missing from Washington? I think that was it, right? That was oh no, the mini stocks.
Yeah.
Rodney Rutherford comes home with the victory after starting 25th.
Yeah.
Unreal, right? Like I saw that and I was like, how did you make up 25 spots in a mini stock race? Like, shout out to Rodney. That is an impressive run. Jeremy May second, Dusty DeBoer third, Nick Erskine was fourth, and Tyler LaFontaine was fifth. But wow, 25 spots,
Yeah, he'd be the guy to do it. I think that's his second or third win on the year.
right?
No stranger to victory lane, and yeah, he did a good job. I watched that one, and May was doing a good job as well. And what? But there was a little like Lafontaine got into Fabio,
Yeah.
and then yeah, Fabio just gave him a couple shots in the bumper, show him his depressor after. But yeah, that was a little bit of excitement there because then Fabio
Yeah.
almost got back to him. Like Fabio went to the tail, and then he was back to like seventh. Like it felt like the next lap after the restart. Like even my mom's like, "Holy heck! How the heck did that guy get up there so quick?" But anyway, yeah, he almost got back to
Yeah,
the
and
rear
then
bumper of the 96 and then spun out again. I can't remember what happened there, but yeah, he almost got back to
yeah,
him. We almost got to see what was going to happen, but
yeah, I
didn't
was gonna
quite
say
get it.
whatever happened on the second incident was definitely terminal because he ended up bringing it home 28th. So, but yeah, I
Yeah,
I am amazed. It's like we've gone all this time and everybody's just had it. We're into September. We've been racing against you guys. Everybody's been getting beat by Tyler LaFontaine all year long, and now guys are just guys have just had it. It doesn't matter which series you're in either, too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to wrapping up Ohsweken with what is it? What do you guys have? Do you guys 2 shows this weekend or just the one for the nationals? 2, right?
2 shows. Be there, be square. It's Ohsweken Speedway's Catalina Wine Mixer. Don't want to miss it. This is like this is the nationals to me. Like the first two, I don't want to say felt fake, but they're definitely covering the last. Like this is the weekend. Like this is what the weather. Like you just got to almost got to put
Yep.
a jacket on. I love this time of year. It's all the big races going. We got one of the biggest ones in North America. One of the biggest ones in the world for 360 racing is the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. See how many Americans
Oh
come up
yeah.
this year. If a lot more come up, but yeah, Friday night is the Crate Sprint Nationals. First ever 5,000 win for the crates, and then they're going 30
Mm-hmm.
laps, I believe. And then yeah, it's just 360 is the only other thing on the card. My favorite 2 division show, love it. And then we're
Mm-hmm.
going 25 laps for 3,000 win on Friday, and then next night, real deal Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, 10,000 win for the 360s Knights of Thunder, and 3,000 win for KOT. We're going 35 laps, and I think they're going 25. That's it. Drink,
Nice. I
bring your
like
beer
that.
because you're gonna need it.
I'm honestly, if I could find a way out of
I was talking to the
Wreckfest, I
fans,
would
not
be
you
there for
directly.
sure. I know, but I'm
Yeah,
feeling sad now that I'm missing out on it
yeah,
because
you
I had so
should.
much fun at the last Sprint Car
You should.
Nationals. But
You should feel a smidge sad.
I know,
Catalina
eh,
wine mixer.
I gotta go where I'm getting paid. I guess next year I'll book it off. Just be like, yeah, no, it's all on William next year. William can call the Wreckfest next year
Mm-hmm.
by himself. I'll give it to him.
He'll be good to go by then for that.
uh, yeah, for sure. He can totally
Yeah,
handle it on his own. He probably could do it now, honestly, if
yeah.
I
William's doing a good
left him
job.
to it. But I said I was gonna be there, so I gotta honor my duties.
Yep.
Uh, but all right, I wanted to ask you for some predictions here. Give me a crate nationals winner and give me your uh 360 sprint car
Oof.
nats winner. Who you got?
Bowman for the crates, and I'm gonna go back to back with Polly. He looked too good last time for the yeah for the sprint car natties.
I know, eh?
Yep.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm gonna give starting with I feel more confident in my pick for the sprint car nats on Saturday. So I'm gonna say in the 360s, I think Ryan Turner gets it done again in the 15.
He's hooked up
I
again,
could see him doing it.
and now he's won at 2 different tracks
Right.
in 2 different cars. One Burger Barn car at Merrittville, one like that is intense. Well
Mm-hmm.
done, Ryan.
Right?
Slope clap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Nitro
More than a
54
slope
on
clap.
the car too. He would love to put them
Yeah.
in victory lane on a Nitro 54 night, right? So and as far as the crates go, I I want to see our buddy Darren
Yep.
Dryden get it. I think Dryden can do it. I love the Bowman pick. If you didn't say Bowman, I was going to say him. But just to be different,
Yeah.
I'm going to say the 12 car
Darren
gets it
definitely could
done.
do it. Yeah. He rolls good. And can't ignore Dykstra either. Yeah.
And you know who's going to make us pay for that?
Yes.
Yeah, Dykstra.
He's
And I
another
was going to
guy.
say, who's going to make us pay for it is Lucas Smith, because
Yep. He's
we
the
another guy we really shouldn't count out.
only champion from this year between Merrittville and Ohsweken that we haven't already had on the show. We are talking about having a champions episode later on, like in the off season and stuff too. But
Definitely looking forward to that. You mentioned Merrittville on Saturday night, so let's talk about that one. 50 lap feature in the Sportsman comes down to 5 feet, maybe less
yep.
than that. That was a great race between Cody McPherson and
Yep.
Adam Leslie at the end there. Wild night of racing, lots of incidents, lots of chaos. But I couldn't believe that it came all the way down to that though, and I really thought Leslie was going to get him. He had that top side working, and Cody just found just enough coming up off the bottom. He was telling me, I guess there was some water down on I think it was the outside of or inside of four, and he kept running through it. Yeah, and remember, I remember Matty was using that to his advantage, spraying it up the racetrack. Well, Cody was trying to run it in so that he could run that line, and under caution, I think it was like with 6 laps to go or something like that. We had the restart, so and he couldn't get it all the way done, and that was affecting his handling of the car. And Adam just almost took advantage of it. Really, I was really impressed with what I saw from Adam Leslie on Saturday night.
Yeah, Cody was definitely dominant early, but then JMF was the first guy to show his nose. And even my crew guy Willie was saying how, like, man, they're going all the way to the outside. Them boys running the outside, and they definitely were. Like, they were on the return road, dang near
Oh
in
yeah,
1 and 2. and just as high in 3 and 4. But there was a cushion, just a little bit one there to hold them. And later in the race, them 50 lappers,
Yep.
that's at Merrittville. Sometimes that cushion can, because the bottom will wear it out, because like over half the field's probably on the bottom. So and then about the rest pushing the top. But yeah, JMF did it first, and then T-Ball told me that he works at BRP, works on Pete's car and JMF's car, and he told me they broke a drive shaft bolt, so tough break there. And then yeah, Adam Leslie was the next guy pushing that top side, and he took a shot at him and just about had him.
Just about. It was real close. I was,
Got to
man.
hang your hat on that if you're Adam, though. Like, what a race!
Yeah, right. Like again, just
Holy,
two. He could have had two this weekend, and even though they're two second places, like you got to be proud of yourself. Like that was a great run from the 15. I wanted to mention. So you mentioned too that JMF broke that bolt, and then Nelson Mason also broke. So lots of parts failures kind of towards the end here. Justin Sharp had some problems. I think Spencer Smolders had some problems. A couple DNFs in that one. But uh, it I kind of wanted to see, with the line being up there, I kind of wanted to see what JMF had over the full run, because I think that would have been a really good. As much as the Leslie versus McPherson duel was good, I think Friesen being up there for the full 50 laps would have been wild as well. Because that guy, when I think about the top side of Merrittville and a sportsman, there's nobody who does it better, and nobody does it more aggressively. I'll say he pushes the boundaries like nobody else.
yeah, JMF definitely knows how to run that top side. And I honestly, both the couple cars breaking down, I think they're both drive lines. I wouldn't doubt that, because like Ohsweken the night before was a little heavier than normal, and a couple of the guys were hitting the cushion a little hard and jacking the cars all over the place. And like drive lines don't like that when the car takes an abrupt turn and you hit the cushion real hard and stuff and run through the rumbly stuff. So wouldn't shock me that, yeah, running the super fast track the night before at Ohsweken probably attributed to that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
the race that you found yourself in, Ryan Turner wins the Southern Ontario Sprint finale in the 15N. Started on pole and got the job done. Mitch Brown brought it home second, Liam Martin third, Corey Turner and Jim Hoopinen round out your top five. Talk to us about your race first, I guess, and then what you saw from those lead cars.
Ugh, my race sucked. Drew bad. Made a couple mistakes. Probably made like 3 mistakes all night, and that's all it takes. There's only 15 cars there, but it was 15 good cars. And yeah, tough sledding. And the only car that I
Well,
saw from the leaders, because they were so far ahead of me, was Turner when he lapped me. And honestly, going into the race, because there was a bit of a cushion, especially for our race, like we blew it off a lot more. It was a lot heavier when we went out to start than it normally is. But
mhm.
uh, I thought Liam Martin, I think he was starting on the pole or up there. And because there was the cushion, I thought he would be the winner. But I was incorrect. I talked to Liam after he said he lost his brakes. He ended up finishing third, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, but Ryan, when he passed me, it was on the cushion. And yeah, he definitely did an awesome job. It's
Anybody
only,
who wants to go back and watch that race, go back and watch Liam Martin and this again on the start. I think it was a couple weeks ago when the Action Sprint Tour were at Maryville, and I was talking about Dykstra just sending it around the top side on the opening spot. Liam Martin did the same thing, except he was on the front row, so he didn't even get around any cars. Like he passed Turner in corner one, but then the way he just drove off on the top side was unbelievable. Like Martin was shot out of a cannon. It was insane. Like I know I don't think I can properly describe how impressive the first couple laps he laid down around that track were, but he was blistering fast really early in that one. And as for you, I know you said you made a couple of mistakes, but I think there was only really that one. Like you didn't you wash up on the outside of turn number two?
yeah,
I think you washed up there
it was
once,
on
right?
first
And you
lap.
dropped
Yeah,
from like
I went to last.
yeah, and but you were already up there. Like you started 11th, and I think you had cracked the top 10 before you hit that spot. Like you had already
No,
gotten by a couple cars, and once you did that,
started 12th. First lap, made the mistake, went tail, got it back up to 10th or
uh huh.
so, and then faded to 12th. So, bit
Well,
of a roller coaster.
the I was gonna say then it's a liar here because it says you started 11th as the
Yeah, that's
results I'm
incorrect
reading.
because it was
But yeah,
definitely
it
on the
was
outside.
I just was bummed out for you because it looked like the car was rolling early and you just needed a little track position. I was definitely a track position race. I felt like.
Yeah, it was just Yeah, roll through the gate and draw last in your heat. What I've been doing all year. I'm not drawing on a Friday. I think my boy Will, he's always got big positive attitude. He's going to draw because I'm done doing it. Ryan
Nice.
Turner
That's a good
never
idea.
draws. It's
Stop.
always Jenna. So I think Ryan Turner's on to something. I'm not going to draw anymore.
Yeah. I think that's a good solution for now.
Mm.
I like that. Um, Dave Bailey brings it home with the win in the Hoosier Stocks. Wins it over Ramsey Beagle, Rob Murray filling in or driving the 2 car for Brad Sheehan, and Ken Sargent with the rounding out the top 5. Uh, Bailey just he put a hurting on him. That was an intense race.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's basically all you can say about that race is Bailey put a hurting on him. And he said he struggles in 50 lappers
Yeah.
sometimes, but he didn't struggle in that one. Ramsey had nothing for him running the top side. He had killed them on the top at Ohsweken in the 50 lapper, but not in Merrittville. Dave Bailey killed them.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, you just broke my heart a little bit because I thought it was Brad Sheehan in the two. I was pumped. I was cheering for Brad all night.
Yeah, I thought so. Oh, I called it a Sheehan the first couple laps, and I was like, wait, no, it's Rob Murray tonight. Silly me. But yeah, it was the Dave Bailey show, man. Like I think at one point he had a 7 second lead or something like that.
Sounds about
Like
right.
he just was he was on his cruise, man. That was as impressive a drive as we've seen all year from him, man. Track played right into his hands and he just took off. Another classic finish we had was the four cylinders, man. The four cylinders put on another excellent race. Clinton Barrick holds off Trevor DeBoer at the stripe. That one was a little bit more contact as opposed to the Leslie McPherson side by side run to the stripe, but regardless, it was a lot of fun, very entertaining stuff. Barrick, DeBoer, Leroy Buscombe, Matt Christie. Give a shout out to Matt Christie. He had a fantastic run in that 53 car. Started fifth, ended up fourth, and Austin Worshow drives from 26th to fifth. Another great run for Austin Worshow.
Yeah, and it's his birthday today. Happy birthday. So, yeah, I watched 3/4 of that race from the stands because we just got done doing that helmet collect, which we'll talk about after the race because I want to do a thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, Barrick. That's when I knew the
Yep.
top was probably going to be good for the sprint cars because Clinton Barrick was rolling the top like a madman in the mini stock, and you don't really ever see that. You kind of see them kind of roll the middle and stuff, and they get through the slick real good. But not Clinton Barrick. He was banging her into the cushion
Mm-hmm.
with the right front and going fast, and it was fun to watch because I was way at the end there by the gate in turn one. Different perspective to watch the race as well, and yeah, I had fun watching that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Sitting at turn one of the Nationals, I said that was a good vantage point. That's where you were
yeah,
down at.
watching
We
Barrick.
just wrapped up talking
Yeah,
about the mini stock race and watching Barrick win. And man, I love seeing that guy win. He's another one of those guys that does not take a win for granted. He very much celebrates it and enjoys it. Um, but I did want to give you the floor here to talk about that collection that you guys had during intermission.
yeah. So the main thing is my good buddy Paul Picone had a real bad accident last week, and it was a bad week for guys out in the Cornwall Brockville area because Mark Hitchcock, dirt car. I don't know what happened to Mark, but he had a bad accident too, and I just saw an update on him today. And he's doing a lot better. Finally talking to people. He's the dirt car tech guy, or at least was. And but yeah, back to my buddy Paul. He was he's a guy. He's a low buck racer. Builds his own engines just like me. Definitely there on his last buck. Just a hard worker and doesn't always run the best, but sometimes he rips off some decent finishes too. I remember one night he won his heat race at Brockville at a Patriot race, and the crowd went berserk. And yeah, that was a cool deal. But he had a real bad accident blowing up a right rear, like just normal job that we all do. And it's always a scary job because we know that can happen. And Paul had all of our worst nightmares happen to him. The tire blew up as he was mounting it, and the rim bounced up and caught his arm and almost took his arm clean off, and it hit an artery. And if there wasn't his buddies in the shop, I'm not sure which buddies it was, but I'm sure it was probably the vintage car guy. I know the Jeff Siglich, I think. I wouldn't doubt it was him, but
Mm-hmm.
I know his couple of his shop buddies were there. If it wasn't for them, he'd have bled out for sure. But they got him to the hospital quick enough. He was in surgery for 7 hours. They got his arm reattached. They see some fine of blood flow to it. He's got like 7 surgeries more to go, but hoping they can save it. That's all we can say right now. But he's alert and talking now, and that's all we got. My poor buddy Paul. Ugh, can't. It's hard to even talk about.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's an incredibly scary incident, but Merrittville Speedway crowd and crew, pit side, really
Yeah,
showing out for it. When I think you guys ended up what over
it
$1,300
ended
for
up being
Paul and to aid him in his recovery, which
yeah.
uh,
I lost myself explaining it there.
oh,
That's what I wanted to
oh
get to is the Merrittville crowd. $1,400 between the pits and the stand we raised there. We were only in the crowd for like 5 minutes, and we had a deal set up early in the night before the we got underway in the pits there. So $1,400, pretty awesome deal, and that's going to go as far as it can to help Paul because he's going to be off work for a long time and stuff and all that stuff like that. So thanks to everybody. And I know a lot of people in the
yeah,
stands are
for
asking me
sure.
about it, and I was trying my best to explain it quickly while I was trying to run through. Even though we did explain it at the front too. We did that announcement as well, but a lot of people are still asking me, and there it is. Tough situation. Feel better, Paul.
Yep. And but the racing community once again proven that they can come together for all the right reasons. And I think the only other thing left that we wanted to get to was Super Dirt Car, right? Point situation not looking great for Matt Williamson right now after the 12th place finish on Saturday, then the rain out. But you have a reason for us to all be optimistic still for our St. Catharines boy.
Yeah, the main thing is this Super Dirt Week is double points, so anything can happen there. Shepard has a bad night there, and Matt wins like he has the last two times they've had a Super Dirt Week. He's the two-time defending champion, so he's definitely going to be quick there at Ohsweken. I can guarantee you that. And Superman has a bad night there, you never know, but Matt's going to need something like that to happen right now. But he's got a good, looking good for second right now as well, and that pays just as well. But he's definitely not out of the shot for the title, and it's a month of money coming up for Matt. Last year he made over $100,000 in a week at Super Dirt Week between all the satellite shows and the Sunday show and the Fulton 200 the week before. So he definitely knows all those tracks well. So it's his time of year to shine.
Mm-hmm. And the dirt is officially being poured on Oswego as well as we speak. So, well, I guess not as we speak, but they
Yep,
had a
started
long day
today.
doing that today. Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt Jeremy
So,
Corcoran's still working it right this second. I would not doubt it one bit.
all right. Well, in that case, then it is exactly
Corcoran's
as we
like he's
speak.
the guy that tried to fix it last year, but like he's like a
Yeah.
noted track guru down there. So they
Nice.
got the best man on the job. So
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and start bringing on our guests, and I guess we should start with our buddy who's gonna be running on Sunday, honoring his grandpa,
Jordan Cosco.
Jordan Cosco, coming up on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Want to support the Southern Ontario Dirt Show and help us expand our coverage across the province and Western New York? Well, your ad could be playing right here. Got a brand or business that deserves more attention? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com, to become a sponsor of the podcast. And now, let's get back to the show. All right, joining us on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, it is Jordan Cosco. Jordan, how is it going tonight?
Oh, it's going pretty well. How are you guys doing tonight?
It's a good one, man. We're feeling good. Heading into towards the end of the year, getting ready for the off season, but we have a big weekend ahead of us. Hopefully, if Mother Nature will finally cooperate, and I know it's a special one for your family.
Yeah, this is definitely a big event for us. Probably the biggest weekend of the year. This is probably our Syracuse 200, our Daytona 500 for our race team. So if there's one to really win, it's definitely this one.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite shows of the year as well. I will come back to Pete's race in a bit, but let's go through your season so far. Like initially, you were planning to run Humberstone every week, I think, and then that didn't run every week, so you had to switch to Merrittville, and then you ripped off a second place and I think another top five. So tell her how it's went.
Yeah, we had originally planned on focusing on Humberstone this year, and that kind of sucked with what happened. But we switched our plans to Maryville. You know, with the difference in the way our cars have gone in the last couple of years, and with what COVID's done with our racing, we feel like we've been a step or two back from a few other competitors the last couple of years, and kind of took this year as a learning curve, and we've thrown a few different things at the car, and it's been working the last couple months, so it feels good to rip off a couple good runs.
Yeah, so when you mentioned, trying to treat this as a learning year, kind of learning new stuff about the race car and stuff, from a driver's perspective, when you do try stuff and it doesn't quite work out, or it takes a little longer to get to the end game. Is that frustrating, or is that something that you've come to kind of understand that sometimes patience is the most important part of the process?
It's definitely frustrating, but you just can't give up on it right away. You got to keep coming back with, more and more confidence and, um, yeah, just like I said, just got to stick with it. Just can't. It can be frustrating. You put in a lot of hours throughout the weekend to try. You only get, one or two shots at nailing the setup, and sometimes you're way out to lunch, and sometimes you hit the nail on the head, and you know.
Yeah, for sure. You have, I think, one career win, right? So,
One career win in 8 years of racing. It's definitely one of the tougher divisions in our sport. Definitely, I'd say personally the toughest area to win a race. I've got guys that have been racing longer than I've been alive, so
yep.
it can be challenging.
Yeah, I say that all the time. Like the Niagara region, if you want to start naming names like Stewie Friesen, Matt Williamson, Pete Bicknell, Cody McPherson, Brad Rouse, Super Dirt Car Series Sportsman champions. Like Matt, Super Dirt Car Series Big Block champion. Pete, Super Dirt Car Series 358 champion. 3 times in a row, Super Dirt Car Series Syracuse winner, 5-time overall. And then
Yeah,
Stewie, like upon like what else do you got to say about Stu? Don't even have to explain it. Like everyone knows about Stu. And then that's just the start of it. You know what I mean? Then there's Jay Mallory in your division who's been doing it literally since I was born. And I'm like easily 10 years older than you. And then even like you say, Rosie's been in that division that whole time as well. And yeah,
but
it's insane.
it's funny you mentioned Jay just because back when he first came back out of semi-retirement, I remember just a story, him passing me and me asking my grandfather who he was, and he's like, I used to race with him back in the day. He's a very like, just talks so well
Yeah.
and so highly of him, and it's just cool to share the track with some other competitors that have also shared the track with my grandfather. So
Yeah, that's another cool aspect as well. But like the sportsman division around here, I just call it modified too. You know what I mean? Because like all the guys in your division, same kind of thing as moving up with modified is all those guys have been doing it for so long.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's murderers row, man.
no matter which division you're in.
well, it's definitely a tough one for sure. Like you said, you mentioned guys like Brad Rose, like I have pictures of him as an 18-year-old at the shop crewing for my grandfather back in the day. So
Yeah, you got so many cool stories. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Okay, you're up, Johnny. Your question.
Well, I just wanted to talk about I wanted to give you a chance to talk about your crew because I know you got a pretty loyal crew working on that race car because they're texting me every Saturday and Sunday on the radio show. So, just talk about the team, the 17C team, and kind of who are some of the guys that are helping you get this done, and give you a chance to give them a shout out.
I'm just want to say thank you for all the shout outs. That's been awesome. We always listen no matter what on Sunday mornings, getting the car washed up, either ready for Humberstone for the week. So really appreciate that. But I'm glad I get this chance to shout out what a great team because I always say I get the easy part in driving the car and it's them that spin the wrenches and then them that are there to pick me up in my lows and we celebrate the highs all together. Definitely want to give a shout out to my dad Pudge. He's there. He's been there since day one through thick and thin. Travis Miller. He's been a huge help over the years. He's been there since he stopped racing. He's been on board since then. So really appreciative. Ton Aaron, Jimmy. I got a couple of the boys that helped me out. Some of my good friends. Beef. He's the one that always texts you. He's been helpful this year. He's been a great guy.
Beef's a big fan of the show.
Port. Oh, he's awesome. He's
I
always
love Beef.
talking to
Yeah.
me. He's always talking to me and giving me updates about the show whenever I can't listen. So,
Corby
you
Daniels is his
know,
real name for
yeah,
people that don't know.
he goes by the Beef.
He's
Yeah.
trying to get us on
Oh, I'm gonna
iRacing
be
this
there
I'm
for
year.
actually,
sure.
I'm joining up. I'm a rookie, so I'd love to race with you
Me
guys.
too. I'm probably gonna wreck you in the B main. Get ready.
Oh,
Then we can fight at work about it.
hopefully we're in a private Discord so I can let you know how I really feel.
Oh, I can't wait. All right. Did we cut you off when you were
Oh,
saying your
that's
team there?
awesome.
Did you get everybody? Cut you off at
Uh,
Beef.
yeah. Also, yeah, Beef. Ports. My cousin Dylan's been helpful. even all the boys at BRP, where I work, Tyler Pachowski's been super helpful. Ted Curvin, obviously Randy Williamson, he's been super helpful too, getting the car going. I know even over the years, Pete Pete's always there to lend a hand, give me a good laugh, good story. So just thankful for uh, a lot of people who've gotten me here. So
Love it. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about like being a kid around Pete Cosco and all that kind of stuff, and racing your go kart, and just give us your rise to just talk about like your whole life before your first sportsman start. We'll say.
well, first thing I learned most at the shop is to never tell him you were bored, because he was always the first one to put you to work. Go sweep the floors. It was never clean enough. Go take out the garbage, all that. So, but no, it actually we were on our way to Florida one year, and I think I was about 7 or 8, and he asked me if I wanted to race a go-kart coming back home. And at first, I didn't really understand how the seriousness and the competitiveness of the go-kart. I was thinking more maybe something public, like a Niagara indoor karts or Hamilton indoor
Mm-hmm.
go-karts type of deal. And
Yeah.
when we got back, you just see this race cart just sitting at the shop and has your name on it. I'm like, oh, well, we're racing now, right? And so it started off when I was 8 years old, 8 or 9, and with my cousin Dylan, and uh, raced our carts for about 8 years. And the 8th year, I started actually crewing for Chris Steele, who was running our modified at the time, and took a role as a crewmate, mud scraper, did whatever my grandfather pretty well asked me to do, and slowly learned as the year went on. And uh, eventually we ended up buying our first Sportsman at the end of that year. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the real deal, Chris Steele. He needs to come out of retirement.
I'd love to see him back in a car.
Yeah, you should start busting him a little bit about it. Still got it sitting there.
I think we all would honestly steal
But
her
yeah,
back.
that's cool. But you got any cool? We're gonna talk about the race specifically, but like, give us some cool Pete Cosco stories. You got to have a couple.
Oh, cool Pete Cosco stories. Putting me on this. I should have came a little prepared. I should have known this question was
Yeah,
coming.
you should have.
Uh, one cool moment that I'll always remember was when my rookie year, actually, in Sportsman, he uh come back out of retirement there, and he put together a second modified with the 17P. And one of his deals, he was always a bottom feeder, and really engraved it in my head to get to the bottom, run that guardrail, get as close as you can. And one time we went up to Ohsweken, and I wasn't racing, and I was just crewing for him, but as a driver that year. And I remember after the heat race, he come in and he did okay, just missed the redraw or whatever, starting midfield in the feature. And I remember I leaned into the cockpit before he went out, and just gave it to him, and told him to get to the bottom, and give him the same spill that he gives me every weekend. If he could have, he probably would have cuffed me upside the head if he wasn't strapped into the cockpit. So
Yeah, you're lucky. It's a pretty far ways from the door to the cockpit in a dirt modified, eh?
I
He
had
definitely
yeah,
would have clocked you.
I had a little bit of clearance there between the wing and the door. So
Yeah, you're probably like I raced against your grandpa in modified and stuff, and like he was decent, like mid pack guy, but always could have a good run every so now and then, kind of like I was. But like what his deal, like he was always super fast in the sportsman, which like almost I was too young to remember that. So you're definitely too young to remember. You know what I mean? Like he was definitely no joke in the sportsman for sure.
that yeah, I definitely don't remember him in the Sportsmans, because I was I'd say yeah, early to late
Yeah,
90s.
you would have
I
been a kid, like
Yeah,
super small.
I wasn't even a thought back then.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
only 98. So, but
yeah.
it
Yeah.
definitely shows the shop though. His office is just filled with plaques and awards from back then, and you can really see how successful he really was back then.
Yeah, I love seeing old newspaper clippings from Merrittville, and more often than not, you see a Pete Cosco victory lane picture. Gotta love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What do you got,
So,
Johnny?
like we say, pretty special heading into the Pete Cosco Memorial on Sunday night. And I guess what are your what are your expectations for that race, the rest of the season? What do you have planned for the 17C coming into the fall season here? And then maybe do you have any plans lined up to go full time anywhere in 2023? Is it a little early to be thinking about that next year yet?
Well, expectations for this weekend, I'd like to keep car in one piece, obviously. But if we can, I'd really like to be competitive, obviously, and if we can be in position for a win or contend for, a top five, I'll take it, and it's like we talked about in this area, that's almost a win for us too. As for the rest of the year, we have Brighton the following weekend. We're going to run Friday, Saturday for their Applefest weekend. We have then the following weekend we're off. That's for us. Oswego. I will be actually working that weekend at the BRP tent. So if you need your car
Nice.
scaled, come see the kid. Um, and
Come see
then
Teddy's boy.
yeah, well
More like it.
I'll be doing whatever Ted
Yeah.
wants me to. So
Ted says it, you do it, and jump
yes,
high, baby.
yes, sir.
I love it.
Don't want to make him mad. That's for sure.
Mm-mm.
Uh, and then after that, we might head up to Brockville for their fall nationals. We'll see, but I've always said I wanted to run that race. So, and then for next year, it's kind of up in the air. I think we're gonna commit to Merrittville full time next year for sure, and kind of see where Humberstone's at. But if they're running, we'll be there for sure as well. So
Yeah,
Nice.
sounds like a good
Love to
plan.
hear it.
we'll be
So,
racing. We'll be racing full time next year.
all right, now let's just talk a little bit about the Pete Cosco Memorial. There was a little uproar on the internet this week that they uh, canned the late models. I can see how those guys are upset a little bit, but like they brought up that like Pete would be rolling in his grave that they dropped it. I thought that was a little bit much, me personally, because like it's not like Terry hasn't supported them. Like last year, he ran 1,000 to win sportsman race, 250, or 1,000 to win late model race, 250 to start, and there was 6 cars there, and he paid it, like he paid the whole purse. So 6 got 6th place money, all that kind of stuff. So
Ye-
and like you can see both sides of the story, like because that 6th division show is like kind of a tough deal too. So what do you think on that?
Yeah, like you said, absolutely. I can see both sides to it. This is
Yeah,
definitely a tough call and not one I would want to be in the position to be making.
yeah,
From sheer business side, my opinion, I understand with, maybe holding the mod lights there instead, just because sheer business, you bring in 20, just about 20 cars. You got to think 3 to 5 crew guys per team. At a financial standpoint, like it makes sense. It's a little more comfortable for said management.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but at the same time, I understand where the late model guys are frustrated because
Yeah,
this is their
I
home
do too.
track. This is the track that's been supporting them forever. However, car counts haven't always been there, so
That's the
it is
main
a
thing, right?
yes, it is a risk factor, and I understand with Southern Ontario Motor Speedway closing and Brighton, not running on. I'm not sure if they're not running, but a couple of the
No, they're
Brighton
not
guys,
running. I know. I know.
yeah,
I know.
I saw a couple of the Brighton guys wanted to come. Like I understand the viewpoint, but again, it's a tough call all the way around, and just seems like maybe more stability, and it's just less of a chance to take bringing the mod lights there.
Yeah, but the only thing I see is like they say Terry's given up on the class, but like they've had a long time to produce a 15 car field locally
Oh yeah.
without help. You know what I mean? So
Correct. I don't think it's fair to say he's given up on them. I think, just like we
it's just a
said,
business decision, like you said.
it is. It's sheer business. It has nothing to do with not liking the late models or trying to cut them out. It's just I see both sides to it, honestly, and it's I don't like seeing my grandpa's name being brought into that because he's not around to give his
Yeah,
opinion, unfortunately. So it's not right to say what he would or wouldn't react to, kind of thing.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. I just love that victory lane's the Pete Cosco Memorial Victory Lane, and when we did that little ceremony last year's race, I honestly can't believe I didn't cry because, like, yeah,
Yeah, I'm honestly hoping to get interviewed and to cry with you guys together in Victory Lane this Sunday. So
If
hopefully we'll
you
be a
win
checkered crowd.
Sunday, we will double interview you. Like
I
me
was
and
gonna say
Johnny
we
will
might have
both
to
come down.
both. Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna
Double.
both be coming down. That's gonna be one of the most special moments I think
Oh.
we've seen in a long, long time around the racetrack.
That goes out
So
to Dylan Davidson too. If you win the modified race, double interview.
Yeah, if one of us can do it, that would be huge. That would be pretty special.
Yep. Yeah.
awesome.
Now I'll just end it on a good note because I hate that the Pete Cosco Memorial caused a little turmoil this weekend.
Yeah,
Grinded my gears just a bit.
Just a little bit. Travis was much more fired up off the camera and off the microphone about it. But I'm glad you did it. You may have got through that civil. It's going to be a great weekend. Third time,
like I say,
is the
one of my
charm.
favorite shows of the year.
Absolutely, and third time's the charm. I'm believing in the weather. I think it's going to be great, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to be back at the racetrack on Sunday night celebrating your grandpa's legacy and everything he did for that racetrack and that facility. But we'll get you out of here on this, Jordan, and we'll let you go.
Yeah.
I'm giving you one car, one racetrack to drive at for the rest of your life. Any combination that you can try. What's your pick?
Any combo and any track?
Yeah,
Yep.
any car, any track.
Wow. I think I would get fired if I said anything other than a modified. So I'm going to go big block modified. And I'm going to say Volusia. That track's always intrigued me in Florida. It's one of, if not the fastest half mile on dirt. And it just looks like a cool place to, wheel around.
Yeah, and Grandpa Pete used to take you there all the time.
Absolutely. That place holds it's a little special to me, so.
No doubt. Okay, so give us a second one, because you said the modified obvious answer. So give us like a completely hypothetical car and track combo.
A hypothetical?
Yeah, like
you can
anything but a
F1,
modified.
whatever you want.
You really put me on the spot.
Yeah, it's tough now because a lot of people will say, like Susie said modified, Pete said modified at Merrittville. A lot of guys will say the same thing they're already running. So give us a hypothetical one.
I'd like to rip around a Sprint Cup car around a road course, like a Watkins Glen or a Sonoma. I feel like that'd be pretty fun.
Love it.
I love it too.
Yeah,
the one who said that. Yeah.
It's definitely different.
I agree.
It takes a lot of skill. And I know I would definitely stall it out and crash a lot, but that's a part of it, is the learning curve and figuring it out. So
okay, so
no, you're a race car driver. You'd know to take it easy first. Feel it out.
Would you rather have one of those sprint cars that are Sprint Cup cars now, like a Cup car, the next gen car with the 5-speed, or would you rather have the old H pattern stock cars from like a year or two previous?
Oh, give me the old stock cars, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Give them the challenge.
Yeah.
Eh? None of this stock car designed as a GT car. I like that answer.
Yeah, no. Give me the real race car.
Yep, heel and toe, the real deal.
Exactly.
All right, awesome, man.
Awesome.
I love that answer.
All right, thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Buddy.
Good luck this weekend. Good luck the rest of the year. And yeah, I can't wait to see what 2023 holds for you. And enjoy Sunday. It's going to be a special day.
Thank you. Hope to get interviewed by you guys again.
I hope so too.
Me too.
Sounds good, buddy.
See ya.
See ya.
Cheers, eh? And the checkered is out on another episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe for future episodes. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Have a question for the show? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. Thanks for supporting local racing in Southern Ontario, and we'll see you at the track.